Why? That is the only question I have this morning or this afternoon by the time you guys see this. Why? Even though that sounds like a simple generic question, we're about to take those three letters into several different directions. Like, why do broadcast networks still broadcast these award shows? Why do every single one of these award shows turn themselves into a gigantic PSA for the community of wanker spankers? What is the point of all this? No one is listening. No one cares. And that is not hyperbole. I am being literal. Normal people quit watching these award shows years ago. They are now literally preaching to the choir. If you're not a card-carrying member of Woke United Methodist, you are not allowed to attend one of these award shows, which, that's fine. I would rather attend a live taping of struggling Mom Banks Peeping Tom than be surrounded by the filth at the Tony Awards. Well, Casey, what is the Tony Awards? The Tonys started in the late 1940s. The show was designed to award performances on Broadway and theater. The Tonys, they were named after an actress by the name of Antoinette Perry. No, Antoinette was not an identifier. She didn't wake up one morning wishing she had a beard and rename herself Tony. Tony was simply her stage name or a nickname, no different than Toni Braxton. I would imagine Antoinette Perry is rolling over in her grave right now because the Tony Awards, they are no longer about honoring actors and actresses on Broadway or in theater. Over the last couple of years, the show has taken a turn for the woke. The show, they still honor Broadway actors, but they encourage actors to fall into specific categories. You may be familiar with some of these categories: non-binary, gender void, gender queer, and the personal favorite of Bob Dylan Mulvaney, transgender heroes. You know the heroes I'm talking about. Us normal people, we consider members of the military to be heroes. When we think of heroes, we think of cops who put their lives on the line every day, the firefighters who run into burning buildings. But in the community of shitfucks, the term hero is reserved for those who fought through the trauma of gender dysphoria and paid a doctor to put their wanker in a jar. For the second year in a row, the Tony Awards were hosted by Ariana Dubose. KC, who in the hell is that? I have no idea. Didn't take me long to figure out, though, why she was selected to host the show for the second year in a row. It wasn't her very short list of film credits, wasn't her damn near non-existent list of television credits. It wasn't her social media following. So, what qualified Ariana to host an award show that no one cares about? Status. More specifically, her status as an identifier. She chooses to identify as queer. I think we used to call that lesbian. Who in the hell knows? It's so hard to keep up with all these identifications. Ariana also dedicates herself to helping America's youth. The kids. It's all about the children. 3 years ago, she set up a foundation to help young people find organizations that advocate for the rights of the LGBT community. Here we go again, with another organization fighting for rights that have already been obtained. All of this is a direct contrast to the beliefs of Antoinette Perry, the namesake for the Tony Awards. Antoinette Perry was a religious woman. She was a Christian Scientist. Now, to be transparent, I have very, very limited knowledge of this religion. It's not Scientology. I'm not sure what sect of Christianity the Christian Science religion falls under. What I do know is, believers in Christian Science, they look at the LGBT lifestyle as being morally wrong. According to their own publications, they believe homosexuality is something that can just be healed. So I'm struggling to understand how an award show that was named after a woman who believed in Christian Science can promote a community that is the complete antithesis of her beliefs. Today, the Tony and the Tony Awards might as well represent a man pretending to be a woman. Let me show you a brief synopsis of what went down on Sunday night on CBS. Hopefully, all these clips make it through the check system because I want you to see how these shows are not about presenting awards. They're about promoting a lifestyle. Let's start with actress Danae Benton, who is presenting the award for Outstanding High School Theater Teacher. KC, who in the hell's Dean Benton? You're going to ask that same question a lot about most of these birthing persons. All these people are completely unknown. When you are tasked with presenting an award, You're supposed to give a short little speech. Maybe you explain the qualifications needed to win the award, give a brief history of some past winners. Danae Benton, she took this as an opportunity to insinuate that Ron DeSantis is the grand wizard of the KKK. This was obviously news to the television audience since most people don't even realize the KKK still exists. Watch for yourself. Dean, your comedic wit is too much, calling the praying mantis a grand wizard. There's a reason that only parishioners of Woke United Methodist are invited to attend these award shows. Did you notice all the fake laughter? Did you notice the applause in the crowd? They want the television audience to believe that most people feel the same way. They think most normal people are followers. We'll just follow along with the Hollywood or New York City crowd. But we won't. Up next, we have the vice president of the Pride Parade in Midland, Texas, Michael Arden. Mike was raised by his grandparents in a Southern Baptist home. Shortly after they passed away in 2014, Mikey announced the exciting news that he was engaged. He entered into holy matrimony with his wife, Andy Mientus. Michael Arden, he is very talented. He was accepting the award for Best Musical Director. Instead of thanking the woke oak tree or thanking his partners in the bongo band, Mike used this as an opportunity to speak to the youth. Watch for yourself.
And to our beautiful trans, non-binary, queer youth, know that your queerness is what makes you beautiful and powerful. Everyone in this room sees you and needs you, and we will fight alongside you, and we will win.
Again, what are you fighting for? What fight are you talking about winning? I noticed a wedding band on your finger. The government did not stop you. No one else stopped you from marrying your male wife. The fight he is talking about is the fight for the kids, pushing this lifestyle on America's youth. They are trying to convince kids that it's cool to be non-binary. When I was growing up, it was unacceptable to indoctrinate children. The media back then, they were fighting the music industry because they felt it was indoctrinating kids. They claimed rap music glorified drugs that glorified the gangster lifestyle. Today, that same media is complicit. What's the difference? Both lifestyles are choices. When did it become acceptable for adults to push ideas onto children? No one cares if Michael wants to marry Andy. I hope they're happy together. But what was the point in Michael Arden telling the youth of America that their sexual orientation, their gender identification makes them powerful? How? How does that make you powerful? Believe it or not, God was actually mentioned at the Tony Awards Sunday night. Someone by the name of J. Harrison Gee won the award for Outstanding Male Who Became Female. JJ was sporting a lovely blue dress along with a pair of Wrangler blue jeans. Quite the interesting combo. Watch for yourself.
My mother raised me to understand that my gifts that God gave me were not about me. For every trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming human, whoever was told you couldn't be seen, this is for you.
I could keep on going with these clips, but you get the point. Mythical racism. It was also celebrated at the Tony Awards Sunday night. Some playwright accepted her award by claiming they don't want us living at all. Who? Who doesn't want you living? The evil white man? The same evil white man who was responsible for giving you that award? It has been a while since I have seen this much woke propaganda in one broadcast. The Tony Awards were nothing but a collection of worshipers of the woke oak tree. They were all trying to outdo each other. Everyone wanted their moment in the spotlight. Of course, the problem was that spotlight very, very dim. The Tonys have never been a high-profile award show. Even though it's always been broadcast on network television, the Tonys, they have never drawn the same ratings as the Grammys, the Oscars, the VMAs on MTV. But even with that being the case, the Tonys have still drawn respectable ratings in the past, when the show was actually about recognizing talent. 2015, almost 9 million viewers. 2016, 2017, around 6 million. But once the design of the award was exchanged for the grilled woke wiener, ratings began to rapidly decline. If you were to Google ratings for the Tony Awards, you'll find the mainstream media celebrating their success in 2023. This is great! Ratings have rebounded from the record lows that we set the last 2 years. The New York Times, Variety, TV Line, all claiming the Tony Awards drew their largest audience since 2019. Well, of course, that's just not true. When the initial ratings were released, the audience reported by the mainstream media was higher than the actual audience. The media claimed 4.3 million people watched the celebration of Wiener Sunday night. That number would be the highest since 2019, but that number was not accurate. 4.1 million watched Sunday night, a 2% decline from last year, and one of the least watched in the decades-long history of this show. These award shows, they used to be promoted as family-friendly. Besides the VMAs on MTV, parental discretion, it wasn't really required to watch the Oscars or the Grammys or the Tonys. That is no longer the case. You cannot trust these people with your kids. You don't know what kind of propaganda is going to be presented. Someone could be accepting the award for Best Actor and use it as an opportunity to teach your kids the meaning of every color of the rainbow. Good news is, most parents have figured it out, which is why ratings continue to decline. People are voting with their wallets. People are voting with their remote control. You want to celebrate the woke wiener? That's fine. We're not watching. But give me your thoughts. Tony Awards, near record low ratings. Anyone surprised? I could have shown you guys 3, maybe 4 more clips of the same propaganda. These award shows, they have become a vehicle used to promote a narrative. They're not speaking to adults either. You heard it from their own mouth. They are talking to kids. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.